All right, cool. Well, quickly before we start winding up Friday, I thought it would be a good idea to talk. So, the reason we closed our longs right now, one is simply because we see these five waves up, getting into our supply zone, which is simply, I mean, you cannot hold longs above it, right? Five waves will lead to corrective action, and what we want to see is at least coming back to this particular demand, right, which was created, I think, pre CPI, right? And this is also a gap close on SPX, if you see, right? And if you will measure, I think it'll probably be somewhere around 50 to 61% of the overall move. Let's see how much it is, 61% or 50%, either one of them kind of come in between, right? So what we would want to see is that at least it comes down below 5883 or 5880, somewhere around here, or at least come to 60%, which is 5856. If probably I look into SPX, it'll give me a similar area here where the gap closes at 5859. So just call it at 5860. That will be our next level to go long next week. With that, I mean, Trump will be in office. Most of the news which has to come out of day one or day two will be in. Uh, the wave ABC probably take 2 to 3 days. We don't expect it to kind of finish off very quickly. If it has to come to 61%. Generally, how the first retracement happens of wave two, it always come in a zigzag formation. Zigzag formation is a combination of two impulse moves, right? So which means you'll see a sharp retracement, whether it comes from 6018 or whether it comes from 6000. It'll be sharp, right? Sharp as in coming to probably to 50%. If it comes to 50% and bounce back again, then the next stop is generally 61%, right? If it has come to 61% at the first go, then the next stop is generally 78%, which will be somewhere here, right? So that's kind of a very common thing for a zigzag wave, and zigzag generally happens in wave two. Now, when we are saying wave two, what are we calling here? We are saying that we were looking for an all-time high. We called this move as wave four for the last month, for December and half of January, and we got our wave one. Now we are looking at just wave two dip, and post that is what our major rally, which we are expecting, which will be pushing it higher into new is probably 6200, dip back into the support of 6100, and then make a final high somewhere into 6200 plus, maybe 6250 or something like that. You can measure this move, right? What an extension would could look like. You can, of course, once you have your retracement levels with you, you can look into what 161% or 127% would look like. It will likely head into this and a little bit higher here, right? So this is what we are going to target for next probably 2 to 3 weeks, I would say, at least, because this is going to take itself 1 or 2 days to complete, and this move will take like a whole week or so, right? We'll have a whole good green week, and then some retracement of wave four, couple of days or 3 days here, and then another one, right? So, looking at 2 3 weeks to be spent in just doing this. And that will mark our overall fifth wave, which we are looking at, since this dip started somewhere in December. Just clearing up the chart here for you guys, right? So that's the plan, and once we get there, somewhere around 6200, I plan to close any longs that I have, and we'll start adding our SPXUs, right? So start building the short. The plan is that we're gonna start seeing something like this. Will we come to 5,000? Will it be 5,400? I don't know yet, but something like this is expected, and we will be looking at taking opportunity on the short side during this correction when it happens. Not really taking any more stock longs because we do want to get the complete retracement of what we will be expecting in different places, and we'll trade accordingly. Start potentially buying stock longs when it start trading below 5,400, something like that. That's kind of a longer term plan of 3 4 months, right? So that's that. This is as simple as it can be. The other point of which I wanted to highlight and why I wanted to close longs, just in case you would have seen many other people, of course, the bears, they could be right, they could be wrong. They're calling this as somehow a retracement wave into 6,000, and they're saying a next move will be something like this, making another low. Right? I'm not on that same boat, but I don't want to risk it in any way, because like I said, we have got these five waves up. I at least want anyway want a 58 60 sort of a dip, a 58 66 65 sort of dip, right? There's no point holding those SPXL longs into the loss, and then with the risk of if it goes further down or something unnatural happens, when Trump signs the executive orders and we open up with the 2-3% of red day, we don't want to have that kind of a risk with us, right? So that was another reason of closing that. So next week will be like, okay, let's see what happens Tuesday. Like I said, if it dips 50% or 60%, based on that, we will act. Whatever wave formation happen, if it's zigzag or it does something another choppier way of coming down. Generally, it should be zigzag, but if it's a choppy way of coming down, at least it will be behind us, right? That okay, the president is in the office. Whatever happened is already baked in, and all that kind of good stuff. So that's the overall. Plan. Exactly, I think I just answered your question, AV, that can it be a B wave, right? So if it dips further down, like people have been calling that this is just a retracement leg to this whole choppy move that came down, then yes, a new low can happen, right? But though I don't think so, cryptos are not really talking about a risk off scenario. We see coin and MST are almost following what we are talking about, right? And Bitcoin is even doing better than I expected. I expected the let me show you this. So I expected it to respect this particular high, which was somewhere around 103, but it's still trying to go above it, right? So I don't think it's a risk off scenario. It's certainly a risk on scenario, and it's going to pump, and that's why I'm keeping crypto positions on. Just close the DE and SPXL, and if you had any SPY options, that's what I was calling that. At least take that off. You have profits in your books, and you want to keep a risk on. Let's just keep it on cryptos. At least you have something. Let's say I'm wrong even about it retracing from 6020 to 5860. Let's say it just blows off. Let's say the fifth gets extended. We have seen that, right? Not always that the fifth. Let me just go back to US 500 chart into a smaller time frame. What if Trump does something which does extend this fifth wave? The rule with the eight waves is that the third cannot be shortest, and that is already in place because the third wave is already longer than this first wave, right? What if the fifth gets extended? Your fifth can push up to, let's say this is one, two, right? It can push up to something like this and can become this as well on Tuesday is what I'm saying. Will it be called as a third wave? No, it's just a fifth extended, which means then there will be a dip again. Of course, our targets will change. We probably may see 587, 5880 or something like that, right? So you have to keep all these options open when there is a big event coming like this, right? And that's where closing some and keeping some part of the world will try to avoid any kind of missing the rally sort of emotion there, right? And we will be still in the game since we are mostly, at least most of us are in stocks for coin or MSTR, FBTC or ETH and all that. Or in fact, Riot is doing well. It's coming above our cost today. If you are holding with me, right? And we get this pump. It'll be good, to hold these and capture those profits while it goes into this high scenario and cross this supply zone and heads into this supply at the top again. If something like that, let's say for example, if something like that happens again, there is nothing needed to be worried about. If this is a fifth wave extended again, we are looking at somewhere like this to come back, and I'm pretty sure that 60-61% will come somewhere along the lines, if you see, right? So again, 5880 or somewhere there. So we will see that correction, but market can of course trap those late buyers, or if people have bought puts here, and that's why I'm not going into puts either. because I want to see what happens on Tuesday first, right? If we get a wave A dip, we'll have probably scalp a wave B long, and then to scalp for a put as well into the lower level, and then from there we can do the SPXL longs again, because then we are looking at a very big rally, or maybe a little outdated calls for whichever way you like. But I do want to see what action we get on Tuesday. Trump pumps it to kind of 6100, creates all that FOMO in there, and then we start getting a retracement back down, or it just gives us what we are right now expecting, that this supply or this stop, which has not been tested before, it's a first test, it comes into the play, and people kind of freak out with all the tariffs that he's going to slap, and we get this dip. So a lot of options are available. We do want to see what trajectory it starts to take, at least on Tuesday or Monday overnight with the futures and all. That will kind of set the tone for the next week, right? So be open to what comes with that. And like I said, we do have positions now that we are closing everything, but we do want to lock in profits, and we get this opportunity, we'll long it again. And another thing which people can still point out, I can tell you that as well, keep this in mind. Again, you'll have to see what retracement value comes, and this goes back to your question again, AV. Let's say I'm thinking like this. You're seeing this as an impulse wave. Let's say the fifth get extended. Let me just mark it here. Let's say the fifth gets extended to trap more people, and they do a double top, right? What a double top in wave 4 really means. Anybody want to call it out in chat, or a phone, a voice? Wave B, right? It could be a wave B for a flat 4. So what if this is my C wave going up? How it is a C wave? It will be in a way where this was my A down here. I got a flat B wave where this was an A, B, and C, and in all together this becomes a B wave. So let me just start marking this A, B, and a C once more again, right? So this becomes a flat wave here, and it'll be a big one to trap everyone, something to keep in mind, right? So when I'm saying we are going to retrace to this 50-60% from double top, we are of course not looking at keep doing longs as it keep extended. We are looking at booking out, and the reason is that whether it comes to 61% or it becomes a C wave impulsive, to make this whole wave floor as a as a flat, I mean, we have an opportunity to start long, going long again based on whatever texture formation it comes, because C leg of a flat wave is an impulsive leg, right? So we'll get to know if this start coming like this. We'll not be longing at 5887. We'll wait for this to complete, sweep these lows, get back into the demand, and then it gives us another big opportunity to do the same thing what we have been doing since pre-CPI. Right, so many ways these things can unfold. Like I keep saying, and I was talking about just on the chat, that wave Bs, they are like very, very difficult to, say that, oh, they are not wave Bs. I mean, they just go into the double top and then they show the reaction from there. Most of the people are trapped because they're thinking it's a new wave going up, and oh, yeah, only retrace 50%, right? I'll just add into it. But when you start adding, you just keep going lower and your dip is getting deeper, and then you're like, oh, this is not good, let me just do a stop loss because it's breaking the previous lows. They just grab the and then just move back up. That's all what it is, right? So we are into the pivot, we are into this previous pivot, we booked out. If they push it to the next pivot again, we don't have to worry about anything. Probably take some more longs off wherever we have the opportunity, and then we see whether it comes to 5887 or go and make a new low, or like I said, our original plan, it goes up to this 6018, close somewhere there, make everybody bull, and then just pull it back slowly here into this range. That is our primary plan. This will be our kind of secondary plan to follow. Does it all make sense, or any questions there? Looks like all clear. US 500 will be pretty much the same. It was a little weaker yesterday if you read my comments in the post. And while SPX was holding, if you see this four was getting in a little deeper, and I was kind of a little bit worried that if it starts getting into this one zone, then we'll have to start looking at something like a leading diag or so. But thankfully not. I mean, it kind of just did what we expected to do if some of you were long on US 100 or futures. Worked out great. We just landed the supply zone, just marked, just clicked it right there. And the plan remains the same. If Trump pumps it any more further, then we are looking at probably the next pivot here to be tested, right? And if that's tested, then again the same thing applies, right? Whether it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we come back into this zone to buy back again with an ABC, right? Or if this is something like we had an A and this was a very long time spent on a B wave, and then we go a C, then there will be a little bit of a sweep here again, and below previous low for QQQ, it will be 500 again, or 499 or 497, something like that. And then, it becomes a larger flat, and the flats are traps, and we go long again from there, right? So that would remain a plan. I do want to see a new high as per our primary plan, somewhere above 6200, but these are some other things which you should keep in mind. If you are new to Alien Wave, you want to see what a flat waves looks like, you have the battle cards in the Discord channel. Let me just pull out a simple flat wave, what it looks like. Here, most of you should know, but in any case, if somebody's new here, this is what your flat wave looks like. If you're able to see, I just kind of pasted that into the chat window. Yeah, should be able to see, right? So now this is what I was talking about. Let me just go back to this chart here, US 500. This is what I was simply saying, that this could be this whole thing here could be this B wave, right? Where this B is looking smaller, but you can of course do double bottom. This is still considered double bottom, though it went a little lower here. This can considered as a expanded flat. Expanded flat is a little different than a regular flat, where the dip on both sides, or dip and rip on both sides, kind of is above and below the previous low, right? So where the B wave goes above A, and here it is like you're just looking at in a inverse format, where B A, and then the C goes above A as well, right? So you can see this something like this, and then people will start calling, oh, fifth is completed, maybe truncated. Okay, let's go down, and this is an impulse. Maybe now another conversations will start after this. If you see this five waves coming down, while we're here, let's just cover that. Folks are gonna start talking about, okay, now these have five waves down. Probably, let's say it made a little bit of a high here, right? Just in case they stretch it a little too much high to even make another bulls trap here, who are like the breakout buyers, which are saying, oh, we are breaking out from the previous high. It's another bullish thing. It's gonna hold, and let's buy and all that. Let's say those are trapped. First, those are trapped. Then we have this impulse liquidation after that. Now, when people see this, people will start counting like this. Okay, oh, fourth was here, and my fifth got truncated. It made a small high. My fifth is truncated. Now I got an impulse down. Now what I'm gonna see is a retracement of this in an ABC format, and the 6,000. Yeah, we are expecting further down. Okay, yeah, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but in most cases, like I would say 80% of the cases, this is simply a flat. This five waves down will always confuse you that it's an impulse down. Oh, bearish moves have started, right? And all what we see after that is just all of this getting retraced like this. Because the fifth was not in, this was an expanded flat, and let me just paste an expanded flat if I deleted that again, right? So you got this expanded flat correction done here, and then all what you're doing is you're continuing to the journey that you were. So this was take more time to what I was saying, that in my primary case the top can be in 3 weeks. If we see something like this is gonna take way too long. This could be probably 1.5 months sort of a thing. First you get this top, then you get this impulse for a couple of days or 3 days, something like that. Then you build this another one, two, and then you have a three, four, and five. It's kind of a long journey there, right? So it'll keep taking more and more time from there. So these are the few things that you should be aware of. I think we are on right track, and we'll go level to level and keep tracking how things are moving. But these are few things that we need to kind of have in mind, that okay, once you are into your previous highs, we need to exit. We don't buy these highs, we close position at these highs. When we go into previous lows, or we go into the demand to grab the internal liquidity rather than this pivot, which we call it as external liquidity. And that's something which I'm gonna cover on Monday. If you folks are available, what is an external liquidity, what is internal, right? How supply and demands are formed, where we enter, where we exit. We did few conversations before on that, but it's gonna be a little more deeper than just Elliott wave and how to combine everything together. So that's what I'm planning to do on Monday. And if you get time, just go into the education section. If you can watch my first Elliott wave video, if you're not familiar with all type of wave formations, that will give a little bit of help to understand what I'm trying to explain. If you're very new, if you know the concepts, that's fine. You don't need to. But we'll cover that on Monday, right? So that's pretty much it, which I wanted to cover for today. I Yeah, if there are any questions, yeah, do let me know. Let me see if you guys posted any questions. Okay. Um, any questions you have? I don't see anything in the chat. Okay, cool. Well, that was it. So yeah, let's see what happens through the day, and enjoy the long weekend. And I'll see you guys on Monday.